Alright, Katie, so for this movement series, we're just going to go over 3 drills. You're going to do them in order, so 1, 2, 3, go back down to 1, and repeat that. You can do 2 to 3 rounds at least once a day, or kind of as needed. Twice a day might not be a bad thing, but none of this should really hurt. It should be kind of easy. It should feel good, honestly, as you go through it. So for this first one, take a thick pillow, put it underneath your stomach, so in between your ribs and your hips, and then you're going to put a mini band in between your ankles. I don't have one, but that's where we go. Really light, like a yellow, the thinnest band that they have. Then you can just relax your head down. But basically what you're going to do is think about pulling your belly button back towards the ceiling. And then, like, my feet tend to turn in. So basically, like, my arches roll in to the opposite of you. But just think about trying to keep your feet pointed straight ahead. So don't let them turn out to the side or turn in. And all you're going to do with your head down and your belly button pulled back is inhale. Take a big, deep breath in and let everything kind of get pushed back. And you're going to push that band straight out to the side. Really important to try and keep your knees bent at 90 degrees. And then you'll exhale and come back in. Inhale. And again, your head is down in this position as you go through this. So inhale, push the band out to the side. Keep the feet pointed straight ahead. And then exhale, bring it back together. You might feel this in your groin, kind of deep up into your hip, and you should also feel this basically through the top of your right butt and through your back. So that'll be the first one. You can do that for 10 to 15 reps. And then what you'll do, you can hop up, use the pillow if you want to, for a little bit of padding, but you're going to go in half kneeling. So in this position, you're going to get tall, pull your belly button back so you're centered over this back hip. And then you're going to take your arch on the front foot and you're going to push your arch down on the ground. So you should feel your heel and your arch quite a bit. And then you're going to do a hip shift. So you're actually going to push this right knee forward. You'll do this on both sides. 2 sets on the right, 1 set on the left. Okay? Keeping your foot planted and not letting your weight shift forward. You're going to push your knee forward so that your belt buckle turns to the left or away from the front hip. And this hip should go straight back towards your heel. As you do this, you're going to breathe in as you push out. And then breathe out as you come back in. And still maintaining that contact on your heel, still maintaining that contact with your arch. Breathe in. And you want to imagine like you're in a really narrow phone booth, so you're not like dumping your hips side to side. This hip is moving forward and this one's moving back. So it's more of like a twisting motion than anything that's going on side to side. When you go through this, you might feel a little bit of quad and butt, but you're probably going to feel a really big stretch in your groin. That's a good thing. That's kind of what we want. And just make sure that your head and chest stay turned straight ahead the whole time. So it's almost like a running motion, but head and chest are facing back towards the center, and you're letting your hips twist, and you should feel like your shoulders are trying to twist the other way as you go through it. So you do that, like I said, 2 times on the right, 1 time on the left, like 10 to 15 reps on each one, nice and gentle. And the very last one, what I'd recommend to use is like a couple of books, or if you're doing this at the facility, you can use a slant board. But basically, you're going to put your toes on the slant board, and so it's going to make it easier for you to shift backwards. We're going to practice that toe touch. So it might cut my head off if I stand up, but basically you'll put the majority of your foot, so like your midfoot and forward on the slant, and then you're going to put a mini band around your knees. All you're going to do is just gently apply tension out to the side through the band, and then you're going to do a hip hinge or a toe touch. So you breathe in at the top, breathe out on the way down, and what you're trying to do is get your weight back onto your heels as much as you can, maintaining contact or pressure against that band and sitting your hips back as far as possible. You can just let your arms hang. Once you get in this position, weight stays back on the heels, the head and the chest stay back. You're going to breathe in. So you'll breathe in and just roll your feet out to the side a little bit. And then you'll breathe out and try and press your arches down on the ground. And the whole time you're doing this, you're just thinking about squeezing your butt as much as you can. You should feel a ton of butt and probably a decent stretch or sensation in your hamstrings. So in that toe touch position with the weight on the heels and the head back, all you're going to do is breathe in. And you're just thinking about sitting back as far as you can. So there's very, very, very little bend in my knees, My weight's on my heels. I'm pushing out against the band, squeeze my butt. If you feel it in your chest or your neck and shoulder area, you can just think about dropping your shoulders straight down and holding it there. This one will probably feel the best on the right side of your back, just kind of like opening that area up. But it's sitting back, very little knee bend, weight on the heels, keep the head away. Make sure you're rolling your feet out as you breathe in and then in as you breathe out and squeezing the butt. And you can just hold that for like 30 seconds and then stand back up. And maybe go through that for a couple of reps and then you drop back down, lay onto your stomach and try this one. Any of the soft tissue stuff you're doing, keep doing it. You can try to do some stretches or other stuff that you think might have been helping. But the other thing that will help is when you're squatting in the weight room, whether it's a goblet squat or whatever the case is, I'm going to try and recreate that same breathing pattern that we did in the toe touch. So basically you'll breathe in at the top, you'll breathe out as you go down and hit about parallel. And then as you go a little bit lower, you can breathe in and then stand up and breathe out. So it's in at the top, out about halfway down, breathe in at the bottom, breathe out on the way back up. And if you're doing this and kind of keeping your weight back on your heels and you feel your heels the whole time, it should kind of feed into what we're trying to accomplish here without you having to skip out on squats or anything because it's bugging your back. And then the toe touch, once you get good at it, it should help you kind of start to take that over into actual deadlifting and doing like that same top-down setup. So starting at the top, tipping over and then grabbing the bar and then going down into the actual deadlift position and lifting from there. So try those 3 drills, 1, 2, 3, back down to the bottom, 2, 3 rounds, once or twice a day. Let me know how it feels in a couple days.